And one of the questions we wanted to start off with was around impact and sustainability. So you guys have talked about that a little bit in what you do, and we'd love to hear a bit more if you could elaborate on what as a company you're doing and why it's important to you.
Right, yeah, so hello, I'm Josh, I'm the managing director of the Coffee Box. We're at Harshall, we've got our head of sustainability.
So basically within the product, we made sure that components of the product were sustainable. So within this are filling, and then the coffee, which is also fair trade. And then also for the future sales, we made sure that, again, so for our next step is maybe going to be coffee from Ethiopia, which is also fair trade. And as well as this, within the company, during coronavirus, we made sure that we gave back a little bit to the community. So we gave away parts of our components like biscuits and our coffee to a local food bank.
And with that, how did that come about?
So like, first of all, like we've given it to local food bank. So obviously we realised like coronavirus, loads of people were struggling, and like cause my mum was giving stuff to local food bank, and they kept asking they need more and more stuff. So we thought we'd been quite successful. So we thought we had enough stock to be able to give some out. So we thought we'd go and give that out. And we've always said from the start that we want to be sustainable, especially about how important like being eco-friendly is and green at the moment is. That's a main priority for us, that we don't have a negative impact on the world. We want to be positive towards it. Yeah,
that's really clear. Thanks, guys.
Cool. Hey, guys. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about how you guys communicate. So you've got quite a big group of you. What tools did you use to communicate with each other, and what have you learned about effective communication?
Oh yeah, so every week we'd meet every Thursday. We'd have a meet every Thursday, and then at the start we'd all come together and we'd first of all talk about what we'd done that week and whether it's successful and any changes we're facing that, and then we'd talk about what we're going to do with the week ahead and for that rest of the lesson. And then there were some occasions where we had like big orders in and stuff like that. We'd then meet an extra time, say like on a Monday or Tuesday night after school. We'd get everyone in and talk about another challenge that we've had to do and what else, like other stuff we've got to organise. Then we've also got a Snapchat group chat and a WhatsApp group chat. We'd always do that, and also we had a group email. So for any notifications that I had to pass on, I'd be able to pass it on really quickly. And we've also got a Google Classroom where, so if there was like any stuff that wasn't urgent, but like notice I had to let people know, I'd post stuff on there, or so I'd post stuff on there, and then hopefully everyone gets to that.
Great. And what were the things that you learned? So is there anything particular that you learned about effective communication?
Yeah, so I think just with that, is you want to meet as often as you need to, but not constantly all the time. Because if you're constantly meeting, I don't think that it's effective and you're wasting people's time. Whereas, so we felt that once a week was effective for us, and then if we had something else that was important, we'd then meet an additional time, because we didn't feel like we wanted to overdo it meeting all the time. But then we also felt that like we delegate tasks and like delegate who's going to talk with each week. For example, when we first started our product, operations would do a lot of talking, because they'd be creating the product and talking about if they needed more help in sanding the boxes or putting the packaging together. They'd take charge of that sort of. So whoever was doing the important thing for that week, they'd sort of take charge of the meeting.
Great.
Awesome. And so you guys talked a lot about going into your school, finding kind of teachers and the kind of parents to engage with. And I would love to hear what your plans are to kind of expand your reach outside of your school network and to sell more products beyond there.
So hi, my name's Ethan. I'm in charge of growth here at the Coffee Box. So after brainstorming together between all of us, we came up with the idea of doing a subscription service. So this was to improve two key areas of our company: its longevity and its consistency with returns financially. So the subscription will provide a consistent income rather than seasonal as before, because before we were basically around Easter, Valentine's, Christmas to get our sales, where the subscription should be year round, more consistent, so we're more financially stable. And our subscription service is going to be centered around tasting coffees from all over the globe, so the consumer will receive a different coffee each month. So there's variation in the product, it shouldn't be too repetitive for them. So hopefully we can attract more customers do that.
And with that also, we've got obviously we have a digital marketing team and a marketing team as well. So in terms of growth, we have obviously our social media, we've had a good foothold in like the local community in terms of like the amount of followers and stuff. But as we've now created like enough profit and enough revenue, I feel like if we needed to, we could then invest in say like Facebook advertising, stuff like that, to try and, even though we've got loads in local area, we could try and put it more around the country for advertising and for our marketing team as well. Because like there's only so many like leaflets and stuff you can put for people's doors in the local area. So hopefully through digital marketing, that's how we could get the brand out to a wider range of audience.
Great, that's really clear. Thank you.
Cool. And just one more question from me. So when you were initially coming up with the idea and sort of doing the research, what did you do differently to what you saw already out there in the market to make your product more innovative and different?
Okay, yeah. So starting off with, we sort of, other companies, like especially in our school, were saying, "Oh, COVID's going to be a negative; it's going to impact their company." We thought we'd try and take that as a positive, and so that's why we knew that currently in COVID, everyone was buying gifts for everyone, so they wasn't going to see people. So I was buying gifts and getting them delivered to say like their nan or their mum. So we thought we'd go into the gift market, and that's obviously proved very successful for us. And what's special about our product is we researched other coffee gift boxes in the market, and we actually managed to undercut most of the other ones that have a significant amount of coffee like we do. Like they were ranging from £40 to £60, and we were selling ours for £15 in school, which is obviously a lot cheaper than the others. So that's why we thought we was different to the others. And we also introduced a personalisation option. So I would say someone wanted extra chocolates, or say someone wanted something special written in their box for their mum, or if they want an extra mug. So we offer like the specialisation as well as undercutting all the other local businesses in their gift boxes.
Great. Okay. Thank you. Well done, guys. That's it from us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, good luck, guys. Well done.
So see you at the awards ceremony later, will we?
Yeah.
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 So will one of you to introduce yourselves again, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, fantastic. Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. I've started recording now so that I can send the interviews on to Christine, if that's all right.
Of course.
Okay, fantastic.
That's good.
Very cheeky chappies.
Yeah. Yeah, I like their response to the sustainability thing. I think they got into a lot of detail actually about the fair trade and understanding where the kind of coffee comes from. And I think they really have got that ingrained in terms of not wanting to have negative impact as a business. And that's very clearly just part of it. I think also so nice that they saw an opportunity where they heard a need was there, and they're like, what can we do about it? And to be so early on in a business and giving back, like you said, I think that speaks volumes about what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well, did you say, are you sharing this before the award ceremony? We're not talking about anything at this point.
Oh,
Right. Just checking.
Yes, yeah. So as soon as when we go off for a break after the interviews, I'll send it across to Christine, and hopefully she'll be able to see it before she joins us. She may not be able to, I don't know, but we'll get her thoughts anyway.
great.
Yeah. So you've got Memory Lane next.
Okie dokie.
They might pop in a bit early, I don't know.
Like seeing them all sitting in their classroom, brought back memories.
From next Monday, they won't have to wear masks in school anymore.
Nice.
It's so frustrating that they all have to sit there. Like in workspaces, you don't, once you sit down, you don't actually have to wear them. So
No. Yeah, it's strange, isn't it? So, Christina, I take it you are in the workplace. You are in the office.
I am in the office. Yeah. So it's kind of weird because you're constantly going from like some in-person things to then other Zoom things, and you're kind of like you're out. So it's just constantly having to navigate the mix of virtual. But it's nice to be back out.
Are you in Brighton or Hove?
I'm in Brighton today, yeah.
Nice.
I just hope from our point of view that people are more flexible about meetings now, because I've come down here and I've realised how big the patch is. I had quite a big patch in London anyway, but it's quite a lot to cover, and it'll be nice if people will be more willing to do virtual meetings now.
I think some things just work better virtually. I've realised that, like, if you're having an initial meeting with somebody that you just got an intro to, it doesn't make sense to go all the way to meet up. Like, just have a call, and then if you need to have a proper meeting to brainstorm an idea, then you want to be in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely learn that for sure.
Yeah.
Just having a look at that suggested questions as well that you've had. I might pop in a couple of those in this next one.
Yeah, because there was, I think they had about another minute left or something, so it wasn't very long, but I think I was about to pop in.
Cool. Yeah, I think it's good that we kind of plan for what do we want to hear from them. So I think I definitely heard what I wanted to understand. So it's kind of the main thing. What time were we expecting memory lane? Was it 5 to
3?
Oh, at 3. Okay, cool.
So we've left 15-minute slots, even though the interviews are only going to be 10 minutes, just in case of any technical hitches or anything like that. Oh, here they are. Ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Hi there.
Hello.
Memory lane?
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Your memory lane? Yes. Can we hear you? I don't know if we can hear you.
It's a little bit quiet. You just have to maybe speak up or come a little bit closer.
It's a bit of an operation.
Yeah.
So hello, you'll remember from your last interview that I'll pop off and I'll pop back on about a minute before the end, so you know it's time to wind it up. I wish you luck, good luck, and are you coming along to the awards ceremony again later? Yeah. So if one of you could introduce yourselves, that'd be fantastic.
Yeah, we'll be.
Okay, fantastic. Good luck with your interview, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So just to kick things off, I'd love to hear from a couple of you what your biggest personal learnings were through the journey.
Yeah, so I'm Max, I'm the MD. And I think my personal things I've definitely gained out the whole process is to trust people in my team and dedication. Definitely didn't come very naturally, but trusting the people that lead the different teams with doing their tasks. And I think for me personally, I have to make sure I make people accountable within the team to be fair and things like that. But I think what I've learned is how to set tasks clear and communicate with my team. Well, Nathan, you've got.
I've actually got quite a niche thing to say. Well, in the future, I'm really interested in design engineering. And so, of course, with that design and aspects of things, I was really interested behind the products and how products are designed. So one of the aspects of our products is we have to make an interface which the older generation have to interact with. So obviously, you have to consider their technological literacy. And, so for example, one of the things I had to consider was legible fonts, the type of colors they used. And it was really fascinating to see the psychology behind how to make it as user-friendly as possible. So, yeah.
If I could just jump in as well, I think, like you said, with the technological literacy, so we had to set up a customer service team, which I think definitely helps a lot of members' confidence, like dealing with customers and stuff, which is definitely new to a lot of us. So that was good.
Yeah, in our most recent market research, we sent out a customer form, and 50% have returned saying that their IT skills have improved throughout.
Great, thank you guys. Sarah?
Awesome. Yeah. Hi guys. So your presentation looked very professional, and we were wondering how you guys went about to create it.
Yeah. So it took a bit of time. We had to adapt a little bit because we planned it for one day and then we had to isolate for 2 weeks, which wasn't amazing. But yeah, the way we did the planning is we worked as a team, usually with the directors. We wrote a rough script. We then spent a week or so fine tuning it, making it better, and then choreographing, and then we filmed it within an afternoon, and then we had someone edit it that evening. And we were really pleased with how well it came across. I think we were going for quite a professional outlook, and I think it came across quite well.
We used inspiration from Apple, who had similar videos that they did for their product.
The other thing that was a bit of an issue was the timings of it all. So because it's such a large company and it's really genuinely excited, buzzing to get their impact statistics across, and for me it was sales figures, it was managing to get that down into a short form. We didn't have very long to do that.
Yeah.
Great. And sorry, go on.
No, that's great. Thank you.
Cool. So you mentioned in your report that your next step is potentially to build a web app. What you've already tackled quite a few technical challenges in building it already. What do you think your biggest technical challenges will be with the app?
So a lot of the process is done through spreadsheets and collecting data from inputs from their customers. So I think a lot of the improvements that can be made would be with automation to smooth everything out, because as an operations director, our team needs to do a lot of sifting, reorganizing things, and then
The one thing we wanted to add is this feature of family members being able to input their own questions for elderly relatives, like grandparents to answer. I think that's a really good way for the company to move forward. And a web app would allow it. And I actually got in contact with a web developer and had a quick meeting with them about how we could bring that to life. It gave me quite a hefty quote on how to do it. It was good to get an insight into what we have to think about, as well as Nathan talked about getting more automation. We have automated to quite a good extent now, setting we have IT skills to start with.
We've discussed this previously. My biggest issue seeing as our demographic is elderly people, trying to get people to willingly embrace a web app, whilst many at the moment are doing it on old PCs, etc. That could pose a risk, not a risk per se, maybe those difficulties that we've thought about social media, pamphlets, etc. Things.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Great. And then, so you guys have obviously utilised a few partnerships to help understand the customer you're trying to reach. I'd love to hear what your plans are, I guess, going forward around partnerships specifically, what your plan is around it, if you've got any other people in mind.
Yeah, so we got Age Concerns, the culture store in North East Essex charity, and we actually have quite a good relationship with them. And moving forward, the CEO is actually very keen to hear about how we get on in the process. And I think from inferring from what he said, he's definitely very interested about what we can do in the future, especially with how it be applied to people with dementia. We did get in contact with a few local care homes. They were quite isolated because of COVID, so we struggled to reach it. I think Nathan had a meeting with one of them, but it was getting into the care home. We think it could provide such a good way for them to record memories and a solution to dementia and Alzheimer's.
We was reached out to by a former MP who I think is now an entrepreneur. He suggested lots of ways we could expand this and turn it into more of an ancestry user base. But this was a couple of months ago. We didn't have the resources or manpower to action on that.
Yes, and in specific terms of partnerships, I looked into and had a meeting with a clinical psychologist by the name of Louisa Jackman, and she was really, really like invested and interested in our product. She specializes in dementia in the elderly, but she, at the time, was again early in the process. She said, at the moment, I can't currently like push the product and forward it on until I've had, you know, some feedback in how to work. So now we're sending in customer feedback surveys, and we've had, you know, like 50% more customers said their IT skills have improved. There's plenty of things that are genuinely proving that this product is working. So that's a challenge we can go to. Getting some, you know, psychologically, this is a beneficial. This will.
Great, thanks, guys.
Great. And just one other question for me. I just wanted to understand a little bit more about the sort of the financial performance of the company. So am I right in understanding that you've got essentially two kind of areas? So people can pay through just filling out the type form element of the product and then the book as well. Is that right?
No, so it works a bit differently. So what happens is you buy at the start of the process the hardback book, which includes one book and the whole 3-month process.
Okay.
There's also an ebook version where you just get the PDF.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have, at the end of the process, you can buy extra copies of your book once it's finished. With the extra copies, we just didn't imagine how much people would be buying. So I think your numbers might not be slightly updated as we weren't able to change them. But I think a few days ago, we just hit 4K revenue.
Wow.
We had people buying. I think the average customer buys three extra copies, and that's why we're trying to go to a subscription-based model in the future, because the £25 upfront fee doesn't allow us to grow in a way and get customers on, because we know once they get onto the process, they really like it, but it's getting into it in a way which is the hard thing.
Yeah, we're constantly reaching out for customer feedback, and one of the things that we've heard quite consistently is how amazed they are at how low our price is. Considering when we did primary market research, other contenders like ghostwriters charge up to thousands of pounds in some cases. Yeah.
Interesting. Great. Okay. Angela, is that our cue to?
I am, yes. The virtual nudge, I'm afraid. So good luck, guys, and I'll look forward to seeing you at the awards ceremony later. And well done for everything. Honestly, it's amazing what you've achieved.
Thanks very much.
Well done, guys.
Well done.
Yeah.
Bye.
I meant to say that to the other team as well, because I just think that they're all amazing, really, what they've done.
Oh, totally. How long did they all have to do this?
Since September.
Since September, yeah.
In September.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good.
I've always thought that it's, and Sarah, you can tell me how you think from your perspective, but I just always think it's a massive challenge to put a group of students together who don't necessarily know each other. You know, that like these guys have just joined sixth form, really. So some of them know each other, some don't. And, you know, to put a group of any people together to try and form a company, you know, that's going to last a year is a huge challenge, I think. And
are they all studying business, or are they like a range? Yeah, I mean, that's what I find fascinating. Just like, because you're right, like to start any business, the hardest thing is bringing the right people together, let alone coming up with a viable product and getting it to market. Like that's a big, and you're also doing school, right? It's not like it's full time.
They've done it all, and actually working in such big groups.
Yeah, it's challenging.
I remember working on my uni projects with like, it was a challenge.
Yeah. And that was just when I create a report, right? Yeah, no, really, I'm very impressed.
You know, when they say that they had to sack somebody, and can you imagine how difficult that is at that age with your peer group, you know, to have to give somebody the boot?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Cool. Who have we got next? So,
Mosaic.
It is Mosaic, by the way. It's
okay.
Yeah. Have I spelt it wrong somewhere? I might have done.
I thought there were, no, I think, wait. No, they spelt mosaic, unless I don't know how to spell mosaic.
Quickly Google it.
Well, it's usually with an S, and they've done it with
Ah,
a Z.
yes. Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it looks
Yeah,
different.
it's MOSAIC. Yeah, I thought, yeah, they're making a clever startup name. I like it.
Yes.
When you're like, how do we pronounce it? Kind of like ASOS. That's everyone talking.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm looking forward to speaking to these guys.
So Mosaic and Memory Lane are from the same school.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, in competition with
I was
one.
going to say, oh, that's interesting because then they are like direct competition. And
Yeah.
if that's helped them.
Yeah. And the other two are from two separate schools.
Okay, yeah.
But one of them, Coffee Box, in their showcase event, they had 3 teams from the same school, and they were the only one to go through. So, and it was quite interesting, really, because one of the teams really struggled with submitting anything, really. And I think I would have really bent over backwards for them. But because the other 2 teams were there and had managed to, I knew that if they'd have pushed themselves, that, you know, that they probably could have done. So, but they still won an award anyway, so that's okay. So, Christina, did you go to school down here?
No, I'm actually a Londoner.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
That makes 3 of us then.
I grew up in North London, and yeah, went to primary, secondary school across a couple of different schools in North London, and then went to uni in Hertfordshire, and then moved here 6 years ago.
Ah, okay.
But it feels like this is my original home somehow. I came here now. This feels like home.
I wonder when I'll say that.
Yeah.
Well, I was in London 56 years, so.
I don't really miss London. I like going there for the day for some meetings. I never think, oh, I wish I lived in London.
Yeah, likewise.
Okay, so they're here.
Excellent.
Ready for them?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi there.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello. You'll remember from last time, I'm going to turn my camera on. I'm sorry, I didn't introduce you first of all to Christina and Sarah, who are your judges. And then I'm going to turn the camera off and leave you to your interview. And I'll pop back up about a minute before you're due to finish so you can wind up. Okay. Good luck.
Thank you
very much, Angela.
Hi guys. Thank you for sharing everything. It was really interesting. And one of the first questions we wanted to ask from you guys is that you, like most teams have mentioned, that you kind of overcame some challenges as a team. And we're particularly interested to know what you might change going forward to help you achieve your goals, especially to be creating more books.
Brilliant.
So in terms of problems that we faced, we saw that communication was a big one, and we've definitely done a lot to overcome that, sending out this feedback.
Well, I can't hear you very well. Maybe you have to come a little bit closer. Cutting out a little bit.
A bit louder. Okay, is that any better?
That is, yeah.
Okay. So to overcome that, we sent out a lot of anonymous feedback forms to gain a lot of feedback, and we set up spreadsheets so that everyone can see what everyone is doing. In terms of future, in that spreadsheet, we listed that are kind of the planning of doing that for the company, how it's going to progress. And someone want to talk about plans?
Yeah, sure. So the nature of our product, we found something that was quite difficult, that because when we look, we had the operations team who were in charge of basically doing all the illustration, writing and stuff. So going forward, currently our planning, so this is adventure in the future, and the next chapter we're doing Africa. So decided that we're going to try and get some external help from other groups, because not only that hopefully reduce the time taken to produce stuff, that we've made sure that we advocate the skill set of the group correctly. So we had this conversation in one of the meetings. We talked about all our skills, and we found where skills that we perhaps put in the operation with the writing. You know, we found that there was some really good writing. We thought, you know, it can help us improve the next chapter for Africa in terms of the time. And also the editing process as well. That's what we found was one of the long parts in all the editing, because to make it perfect, you have to stop at some point, forever. But if we have more ideas, we found that the point where we need to find there's enough people in the editing process to have the sort of prime amount of ideas before we get like too many ideas, and that we need a few more process to find that equilibrium.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. You're cutting up a tiny bit. I don't know if it's because you all have to wear masks and the microphone doesn't think you're speaking or something. But I patched together the words as well. Cool. I wanted to ask you guys a little bit about so when you were initially researching a solution to this problem that you identified, which I think is so great how you identified it and you found this unique way of solving it. I wanted to know a little bit more about the research that you did, like what is already out there that's trying to solve this problem? What are the current alternative solutions?
So there are a few products out there. So there's one such as Adventures of MOOC, which it's similar. It's also a book, and they go around the world. But there's also one which I think is to do with Paddington. So they send out like activities and flyers every month or so. But ours is slightly different. So we wanted it to be more interactive and have a digital aspect, because obviously nowadays kids are very, they want to play on their iPads and play interactive games. So not only can they have a physical book which they can read, but they can go on our website and actually play the different games and test their knowledge, rather than just having like a passive reading and not taking it into the fullest. So we did a bit of market research to make sure that we've had the best kind of games and best ways of testing them. So we did lots of Google forms and feedback forms to primary schools, and we even gave our book out to kids to see what kind of ways they'd like to be tested on the information, how they'd best like to interact with it.
Great. Okay. Thank you.
Great. So the other question we also wanted to ask was, what are your plans now that you're kind of coming out of lockdown around kind of sales?
Do you want to answer that one, actually?
Yeah. So thanks for the operations team for writing such a wonderful book, where we actually, since the last session, we managed to divert a lot of our attention to the sales aspect of the process, and we are very happy to have sold 95 books since the last competition, which generated a total revenue of over £1,000. And we are especially with admin and collaborating with the marketing team, we're putting forward plans for further marketing based on the feedback we got from the last competition and the last judges. So hopefully, after lockdown, because of our marketing, we will be able to get our word out about the book to more people, really generate more sales that way.
So coming out of lockdown currently, because obviously we're not completely out quite yet, restrictions have been easing, so we've been trying to make the most of it. So we recently, actually, just last weekend, in fact, we went around to lots of different bookstores in our local area, because obviously emails only go so far, and seeing them physically in person is a lot better. So they could see our book physically as well. So we actually got offers from Redline Books in Dial Lane as well. So we have got local bookstores now, and coming out of lockdown, we know there's going to be book calls, that makes sense, book fairs at different events that we could sell at. So we started a list of future events that hopefully once COVID restrictions ease on the 17th, we could actually go to and set up and get more interaction with them.
For example, there was one, it was a trade fair near Liverpool Street Station. We're considering doing that one. I think that was one of the young enterprise ones that are definitely interested in doing that. But yeah, so we're researching like where there's trade fairs, and on top of that, we've also been trying to get in touch with larger chains like Waterstones as well. So we're currently talking to them, as well as Essex County Council libraries and Colchester Borough Council museums as well. Now lockdown restrictions are easing, we're looking at other outlets to sell our book at, and that does include trying to get into larger chains such as Waterstones and Essex libraries to have our book.
And especially with the nature of our company, obviously it's very much focused on diversity and things cater towards that. So we have a gallery locally called Fernside, and they do lots of different events which many people go to. So we wanted to. So we're currently trying to talk to them to see if maybe their event.
Great, thank you, guys.
I wanted to ask a little bit about whether you guys feel like you had any gaps in the skills in the team, and is there anything that you would do differently going forward?
Yeah, so I mean, at the start of the process, we didn't really allocate the skills correctly. I mean, we were, some of us were external students, we didn't really know each other. So when we first voted in directors, we simply just voted like we just did a vote. There was a short speech that people did, and then they were voted in. But we found throughout the process that some people needed to be moved into different groups to have their skills allocated in the correct department of the company. And it's sort of a gradual process. Like I said, with the operation part, but definitely for the next chapter, that's what we're going to do. But on top of that, we're looking at ways to train some individuals, for example, who want to get on the internet, and we don't really know how to use Mumsnet at the moment, so we're going to sort of train some people up to use Mumsnet as a marketing.
Great. Okay. Thank you, guys.
Well done, guys.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm back again to say, well done. Are you guys coming along to the awards ceremony later?
Yes.
Fantastic. So if you'd be prepared to introduce your team again, that would be great. And good luck.
Good luck, guys.
Thanks so much for joining. Well done. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.